Welcome to the realm of the world, be man, a woman, a child, a spirit, a creature, or a demon, be a native migrator, or maybe even some sort of invader into the realm. Welcome. This is week 45, Devil's Advocate, and the whole topic of today's debate is more so, well, the week's hot take debate is kind of like validating and justifying the extremely lewd nature of the anime community, right? What's the difference between anime and animation? Anime is world renowned to be like specifically reference to Asian culture's style of animation versus everyone else around the world from Europe to west of the oceans. The rest of the world outside of these Asian communities refers to animations as cartoons and animation versus Asian cultures will directly call animation anime. The more you know. Now, in this whole not so political sphere, but at the same time, it's a political take that anime is extremely a lewd and subjectively over-sexualized field. Back up. I'm putting it in there. You can wait till I'm done. Stop it. Go ahead. Dig it. Dogs. Almost said mangy mud. I don't believe that. Take care of her too well to call her mangy. That's ridiculous. But, anyways, week 45, Devil's Advocate Hot Take is all about trying to validate and justify, get off my screen, that lewd and quote-unquote overly sexualized viewpoint. But now that the YouTube short is over, welcome to the realm of Millenia. Welcome to the realm of Millenia, for I am your host, the Millennium Mailman, here today bringing you guys and gals, another non-binary pals, another Mailmen Monday, as I am yet again dog sitting. This week for the Mailmen Monday is week 45, as I've already said. All about trying to validate and justify that. I don't really have any excess points on it outside of what I mentioned on the Hump Day video. So I'm going to take this opportunity on a Mailman Monday to address some of the responses I got from the other video for Mailman Monday on per capita. People said I didn't go in depth enough for that. So to address that, if you believe that you're not fully understanding the things I kind of delve into in today's video on per capita, go watch video number 1 on week, I honestly don't remember right now. Go watch the video labeled "What is per capita?" Go watch that Mailman Monday video, and then come back and listen to this one, right? But long story short, basically the whole conversation point of what per capita was, for the shortened version, is that per capita is a subset of probability and statistics used best and most often in political, legal, and other forms of debate specifically in order to increase the value of particular talking points. So if you want to talk about crime statistics, then you could talk about just the regular probabilities of the crime statistics. But if you want to minimize or enhance the value of a particular talking point. When you talk about per capita, you are particularly targeting this general area. And what makes it a per capita is that you're comparing this subset to another subset. So in the example of crime statistics, say like, these crimes are all bad, these are the numbers, these are the metrics. But on top of that, per capita, I'm going to compare men to women who do these crimes to enhance or decrease the value, right? In order to highlight and emphasize a particular point on these crimes, on these crime statistics, I'm going to talk about white people to black people to Asians to Hispanic, Latinos, Native Americans, Germans, Russian. I'm going to be a bit more specific so that we get down to the nitty-gritty of who exactly is committing the crime. I'm going to per capita pile on the comparison of this category to these. The fatherless people to those who lived in homes with their fathers. Single mother households versus two-parent households is what you're going to do with the per capita. Per capita means you are comparing one subset category to another in the already established probability statistics. So whatever math you have, per capita just says, we're going to highlight this particular thing. So if the whole conversation wasn't already racist or sexist, adding per capita, even if I don't want to be labeled racist or sexist, can kind of make it racist or sexistly imply like, hey, the numbers don't lie, so if you're going to call me racist for looking at the numbers, I'm sorry, but the numbers is the numbers, right? You can, I'm not racist, but per capita, black people commit all the crimes. So if you want to call me a racist for noticing that all the black people are doing all the crimes, call me a racist then, I don't care. Right? That is a most unfortunate truth about the thing, but in order to enhance the value of an argument being made or to devalue an argument being made, people do mention per capita. And it's more unfortunate than anything else, really, that it gets used in the particular manner it does that garnishes this idea that, oh, it's racist if you notice. Oh, it's racist if you notice, right? Because when the per capita doesn't, well, rather when the per capita 100% invalidates the opponent, the first thing people go to is the victim mentality instead of invalidating their per capita by mentioning a different one or establishing that this per capita is irrelevant. They'll just say, I don't care, or they'll call you something inappropriate in order to invalidate your conversation instead of properly invalidating it and being more specific. Because the whole idea of per capita is to get so specific, the opposition cannot say anything reasonable or rational to refute you, right? That's the whole point of it. You're supposed to get so rationally specific that the opponent has to acknowledge you. So the best thing to praise, in order to praise the downfall of your enemy after they bring up per capita, is not to just refute the literal facts they're bringing up, but is to properly invalidate, because you could still invalidate that argument. You just have to do it right. You can't fall into their trap card. If anyone knows Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't fall into their game and fall into their rhythm. Otherwise, you just look like a stupid idiot. Because that is how they invalidate you once they bring up per capita. Well, per capita, this and that. I don't care. Well, you're a stupid idiot if you don't care. Because this is the very thing you say you care about. And yet I brought the thing up and you're not listening and you don't want anyone else to pay attention? Ignore the man behind the curtain. I'm the Wizard of Oz. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right? When you bring up per capita and they refuse to acknowledge the points, the whole point is to make you look like a stupid idiot. Just because once you bring up per capita, you can either convert, you can disavow and refuse to acknowledge it, but ultimately, if you're not going to combat the per capita argument the proper way, you fell into the trap card. The only way you can logically and soundly go against the per capita argument is to be like, you don't have to be super smart in order to do it. You just have to indirectly acknowledge it and be like, but why is it relevant, right? You have to verbally get their confirmation of why it's relevant and dismantle that rationale, right? So it's like, I, a non-racist, let's just say I'm a white woman going against this white supremacist white man who might genuinely be racist, but for the sake of this argument, is not racist and is just supporting all these racist ideals and bringing up racist statistics, right? Like all the crime and everything that happens in America is mostly done by black people. No, it's not. We look up the stats and everything here. White people do a majority of the crime. But yeah, but per capita, all the white guys in jail, that's 5% of the white community. So there's a 1 in 20 chance that white people do anything wrong, let alone violent crime. Then you get more specific, like per capita, only 1 in 100 men do any kind of crime. And then it's like 1 in 10 of those men who do crimes do violent crimes, right? But per capita, compared to black people, there's a 1 in 4 chance that every 4 black people you meet is a total criminal felon. Not just a criminal, but a felon, right? And they have violent assaults out the wazoo, right? So when you start comparing black people to white people, there's a 3 out of 4 chance that every black person you meet is an utter felon versus every, 1 in 20 people? And scratch that, 1 in 50 people, white men are convicted felons? Like, come on now. Like, you say all men are toxic and you really mean all these black people with BBC out here who want to do this and that. So you can either acknowledge the talking point of the per capita and be like, yeah, that is how that goes. But people get so excited and they want to be like, but why? It's like, you can address the Jim Crow immediately and make yourself come across as stupid because you're not actually properly acknowledging and dismantling the fact that they brought up the per capita. Or you can dismantle it first and then bring up the Jim Crow. Okay. Like, so your argument is what exactly when you're bringing up the per capita? That white men are less dangerous than black men. You know, white supremacy, white power. Okay. Congratulations. Okay. Great. So you're saying black people are more dangerous than white people? Is that what you're trying to say? Yes. Okay, how about we get back on topic then? Because this is about why men are dangerous, and it's valid for women to be scared of men, period. Right? Now, I told you anecdotally that I trust I as a white woman trust black people with my life more often than I would a random redneck. Yeah, and I'm telling you, per capita, that is a terrible stance to take. Okay, well, first, let's address that. Look at these crime statistics of black people, and then look at the kind of crimes the white people are doing. Okay, so you listed just the fact that people are criminals. Well, let's break that down. 50% of the black crimes that you're talking about, and especially the felonies, are false charges, right? That later get exonerated or ignored, but once you're in the books, they're not going to take you off the books, right? So mentioning that black people have a criminal record means absolutely nothing, because racism is a thing. Mr. I'm not a racist. Because racism is a thing, black people having a record in a predominantly white society means absolutely nothing. Now, if we were to get back on point, the real per capita we want to look at is how many of these violent, offensive crimes we're talking about involve directly harming women. Which populace has the per capita of directly harming women? Because most of these black statistic crimes are that you're talking about is actually black men hurting white women in regards to a woman. Most of these black crimes are black men hurting white men over women. So, yet again, that just gives me more reason to trust and believe in the superpowers at B that black men will come to my defense, because black men love me the white woman so much. Right? So, even in this anecdotal experience that you want me to give up and start putting more faith in the white populace, per se, my fellow white males, you want me to have more faith in white men, when really these very same statistics prove I really should put less faith in white men and more faith in black men. Right? That is how you would go about dismantling that per capita argument. Always with the stairs, man. Right? So, yeah. I hope that example was a better, more specific explanation for you who didn't think the first video was good enough of an explanation for the whole per capita discussion. Those of you that didn't think it was good enough, I hope this video did the conversation a bit better, a bit more righteously. Excuse me, I'm so glad I'm not allergic to dog. The amount of fur coming off this stairwell is ridiculous. And I'm definitely gonna have to do a second, maybe a third pass, because there's just so much dog hair. There's just so much. But anyways, yeah, that has been the per capita discussion continued. I sure do hope you appreciated the get back as I answered your question. Hope I answered it well enough for you. I appreciate the comments and the emails. Comment down in the comment section. Email me at MILLENIANmailmen@gmail.com. I check it at least once a week. I swear I do. I swear I do. And share the video for more exposure of myself, of the channel, of the fact that I'm writing a book series I'm calling Realm of Millenia. It's the exact same as the channel name. R-O-M, Realm of Millenia. And as always, subscribe if you feel like it, dislike the video if you don't. And always remember, peace, love, and happiness, and all of the very best of things to you. Oh man, so much dog hair. This is ridiculous. People who have pets totally need to take care of them well. I think a lot of people who have pets are just in this childish phase and don't fully understand how much of a big endeavor it is to take care of these creatures. There's a lot into animal upkeep. It's a lot. And for a lot, some creatures, let alone if you have more than one, it's basically a second job. It's a whole job, except you got this creature for your own pleasure and enjoyment, meaning you're not about to be paid for it. So it is literally to take care of these creatures. It's literally exclusively an expense in both finances and in time that people say they don't really have in the first place. So, but hey, that's just me, your Millennian Mailman here today. Peace, love, happiness, and all the best of things to you. Goodbye.